My stepchildren told me I'd never be their real parent, so I canceled their tuition and let their biological parents figure it out. They didn't take it well. Hello everyone, welcome to Reddit Visuals. I've always believed that love, not biology, is what makes a parent. I married my wife Carla 8 years ago. She had two children from a previous marriage, Ben, who was 12 at the time, and Alana, who was 10. Their father, Rick, was never completely out of the picture, but he was inconsistent. He'd show up once in a while with flashy gifts, make big promises, and then vanish again. The kind of dad who says, I'll be there, then disappears for birthdays and parent-teacher conferences. Meanwhile, I was the one who stayed. I showed up for football games, late-night science projects, and emergency room visits for sprained ankles and fevers. I never tried to erase their dad. I just wanted to be a constant in their lives. For years, I thought it was working. They called me Mark, but the affection seemed real. Alana would make me drawings for Father's Day, and Ben once told me I gave better advice than any real dad ever could. Things changed slowly, almost imperceptibly, after they turned 18. Carla and I had always agreed we'd help with college. I set aside money in a savings account for both of them. Nothing extravagant, but enough to give them a debt-free start. We even toured campuses together. Ben wanted to study engineering, and Alana was leaning toward psychology. I was proud, genuinely excited for them. But during that same period, Rick started popping up more often. I guess he sensed he was losing them for good. He started attending their senior year events, dropping cash gifts, even offered to help with tuition, though I'd never seen him pay for anything in the past. The kids seemed starstruck, especially Ben. Suddenly, Rick was trying his best and deserved a second chance. I didn't argue. I just stayed in my lane. Or at least I tried to. The real shift came the night we sat down for dinner to finalize college plans. I had spreadsheets printed out with financial aid details, scholarship options, and payment schedules. Alana glanced at them, then said flatly, "Shouldn't this be something our real parents discuss?" I thought I'd misheard. I looked at her, then at Ben. He didn't correct her. Instead, he added, "We're grateful, Mark, really. But we feel like we should lean on Mom and Dad for this. You've already done enough." The air in the room shifted. Carla froze. I tried to laugh it off, thinking it was a weird joke. "I thought we were discussing this as a family," I said. Ben shook his head. "We appreciate what you've done, but you're not, you know, our actual parent." I won't lie. My heart cracked right down the middle. 8 years, school runs, doctor's visits, teaching Alana how to drive, helping Ben build a robot for his science fair, not to mention the thousands I'd quietly funneled into their college accounts. And in one sentence, I became a footnote in their lives. Carla was horrified. She tried to intervene, said they didn't mean it like that, but the kids stood by it. I could see it in their eyes. They were drawing a line, and I was on the other side of it. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I just nodded and left the table. That night, I sat at my desk and stared at the account I'd created for them. Over $80,000 combined. Tuition, books, housing, all carefully planned and saved. And then I made a decision. If I wasn't considered their real parent, then I wasn't obligated to be their real ATM. The next morning, I called the bank and transferred the funds into a separate account under my name. I also called the schools and notified them that the previous financial aid plans were canceled and that their parents, Rick and Carla, would need to resubmit updated payment info. Then I sat down with Carla. I didn't blame her, but I told her I was done footing the bill for kids who didn't consider me family. If Rick was so ready to be dad again, let him handle the bill. Let him learn that parenting isn't just grand gestures. It's commitment. It's the boring, unpaid stuff. And maybe now they'd see the difference. The fallout was nuclear. 2 weeks later, Ben's school called Carla. His tuition payment had bounced. Rick, it turns out, had promised to handle it, but hadn't filled out a single financial form. Alana's situation was even worse. She had already enrolled in classes and was suddenly facing a $14,000 gap. They called, texted, emailed. Carla begged me to reconsider. And then Ben showed up at the house. I opened the door, and he looked small. the same kid who once held my hand at his middle school graduation. He didn't yell. He just said, "Why are you doing this?" I stayed calm. "You made it clear I'm not your parent. I'm just honoring your definition." "But we didn't mean it like that," he said, his voice cracking. "We were just trying to reconnect with Dad." "And you can," I said, "but I'm not going to fund your future while being treated like an outsider." He left angry. Alana didn't come at all. She sent a long email filled with phrases like, "betrayed trust," and "you promised." I didn't respond. A week later, Carla sat beside me and said quietly, "They're learning." "What do you mean?" I asked. "Rick bailed," she said. "Again. Told them it was my job to figure it out." She was crying, not because of the tuition, but because she realized I had been more of a father to those kids than Rick ever had, and she had watched them throw it away. Over time, things mellowed out. Ben got a part-time job and started night classes. Alana deferred a semester and picked up extra hours at a cafe. Carla and I are still together, but it's different now. There's a line I don't cross anymore. I don't try to win over anyone. I don't sacrifice just to be tolerated. And then last month, Ben came over. No drama, no guilt trip, just a quiet visit. He handed me a card. Inside was a photo from his graduation, him in cap and gown, smiling. "I paid for this myself," he said. "Took me a little longer, but I wanted you to have this, because even if I didn't say it before, you were the one who got me here." I didn't say anything. I just nodded and took the card. Later that night, I put it in the same folder I used to keep their college savings plan in. Not out of spite, out of closure, because sometimes the best lesson isn't taught with words. It's taught with silence, boundaries, and the strength to say no when your love is taken for granted. And no, I don't regret a thing.